Hey Milan, so let's call this video one. I'll do more later, but I don't have a lot of things set up yet. I've just got everything running essentially. So here's your display, and there's a couple different formats to this thing. So here's battery voltage, here's amp draws, speed. You got a few other things down here. You've got a couple temperature sensors. One's in the controller, and the other one's on the motor. And they're both showing 24 degrees. So there's a few things like that. And the whole entire screen format can be changed as well. It doesn't have to be like this. But yep, that's you. And so there's your controller, and here's my test battery pack. This connection right here is my 20S or 82 volt connection. And then I've got over here is my next one, which is 24S. 28S and 32S. So anyway, I can test a lot of different voltages. There is your motor, all rewound and minty fresh and looking cool and shit. I've got, so this is my throttle. Here's my regen throttle. This little black wire right here is my temporary switching for different things, so I can do like forward and reverse here, which I'll do in a second. There is motor hulls and temp sensor. There's the phases. And over here is your two battery wires. So anyway, I'll put this thing back in its box in a little while. But I just thought I'd give you a quickie demo of stuff working. So here it is forward. I've got to fix some speed settings and stuff, so don't think that this is like full speed, because it is so not. This motor will run like a bat out of hell. Yeah, when I was doing some test runs on it, the motor runs really fast. So anyway, so that's forward essentially, and I gotta put this thing down so I can do reverse. There we go. Okay, so number 12. So anyway, there's forward. I'm gonna touch my little ground wire to pin 12 on my terminal block, and there's reverse. I don't have my speed settings set up right, so, you know, ignore the fact that it spins faster in reverse than it does in forward. That'll all get fixed. Okay, so this is normal. This is medium speed. I do have this one thing set, and here's fast. Which one is? There it is. So that's high. That's medium. And low is not set yet. So ignore that, but there's low. I'm touching it right now. You can see you can't tell anything's happening, but it does do it. At least fast works. But yeah, I've got some setting changes to make to get everything all right, but it all really works. So I'm going to do a little test here. So I'm holding down the throttle, so I'm forward, and now I'm going to hit the regen throttle. And you notice the motor just stops instantly. Yeah, it's because you know, with the motor with no load on it, there's nothing to keep it spinning, so it immediately stops. But yeah, anyway, regen works. Everything's working. I just got to make some setting changes to finish up a few details. And I think that otherwise, this motor and controller is fine. One thing that I guess I should point out is, you know, here's your terminal block, and I've labeled some things like, you know, 12 volts, ground, B plus is battery plus, and 5 volts. You can see I've got the wires coming off the controller going on this side. And, you know, I sent you a picture of this document, where I've got everything all documented, but you won't be able to fit that through your hole, most likely. So, excuse me, you'll have to unwire it, put everything through. So there is your color combinations right there. Put that on there for a couple seconds longer. So there's all your color combinations and the positions they go in. So if you do that, it'd be pretty hard to screw up wiring up the controller to the terminal block. Now, what your stuff is on the other end, that's going to be a little bit different, but not a whole lot. You know, right now all I've got is throttles on here. So both throttles are going to get 5 volts and ground. And then position 10, which is that one, this wire we've got right here, that's the throttle. And position 11, that is your regen throttle. So anyway, yeah, that's where your two throttles go, is position 10 and 11. And then obviously I don't have lots of other things plugged in yet because, you know, it's not actually on your bike. But you get the idea. Lots of things here that you can do that you'll have to do on your side. But yeah, working pretty good. I'm pretty happy with how things are going. And I will get this thing set up the rest of the way after I get the controller all closed up inside, so I don't have to be quite so anal about leaving the thing sit here. And I think we're pretty darn close to having the motor and controller totally knitted up. There's just some setup changes to do, and then it's finished. So I guess then it's back to the battery pack. Anyway, that should keep you happy.